Welcome to my show, Daryl.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Nice to be here. Thanks for having me.
you're my guest today.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. How's
Oh, is
everything?
that what's happening? Big congratulations to the Story family.
Yeah, way to
I
go.
don't know if it's public news, but he
You
had
probably shouldn't be
I,
publicizing it then.
I don't want to blab, but
Good thing nobody watches this.
he had a good reason not to come on the show today.
Yeah. What's new with you
So
though, Daryl? Am I interviewing you today?
I hope not. Don't we want to do a good show today?
Daryl, tell us the story about your childhood. Okay.
Oh
What led
man.
to what led to this?
You know, I grew up in a lower income housing project on the outskirts of Toronto. Sad.
Thornhill. The streets of Thornhill.
Yes. Yes. I agree.
Tough.
But hold on a sec. It gets worse. Not
Get
only
worse.
not only did I grow up in the farm country known as Thornhill today.
Mm.
I grew up with the horses and the scents and none of the amenities that Thornhill has to offer currently.
Mhm.
Like the promenade. That was later on in my tenure of
Oh my goodness.
living in Thornhill. It was horrendous. But
I bet
hold
the
on.
Thornhill
It gets
Golf
worse.
Club probably only had walking carts at the time.
It gets worse, TK.
Okay.
My parents obviously didn't like me much. In retrospect, with good reason.
Mm-hmm.
But I went to French immersion. TK, I don't feel good even thinking about it.
Now this explains everything.
French
You've
immersion
resorted.
for 8 years. 8 years ago, and I don't speak French. What are you trying to tell me? How am
You've
I supposed to
resorted to a
learn
pro
math like
bono
this?
podcast on the weekend with my crazy ass.
That's right.
Yeah, that's sad. That's a tad. You know what? You should write a book.
I think I should.
Yeah.
One day I will. When I run for mayor of Toronto.
How did you get into development?
There was a day where a guy like me couldn't win mayor of Toronto. But now all bets are off, baby. No?
I think anybody can be anybody they want to be. I think
That's
if you
right.
want to be the mayor, Daryl, you can be the the mayor.
No, I don't want to be the mayor, but I want to change. I want to change things so dramatically when it comes to the planning process.
Yep. Well, we got a good guest coming up here. We got city staff coming to the show.
City planning staff.
City staff. This
Oh,
is necessary for
if you
change.
if you were in the right place at the right
Yeah.
time this week,
Yeah.
your brain would have exploded at the community meeting on
It was
Wednesday
epic.
evening.
Can we
It
talk about
was
it?
epic. Yeah, we can talk about it. We actually had support for our presentation.
Absolutely. Members of the community were all for it.
Not all, but there was one that made it pretty well clear to everyone that they wanted more density on this site. They questioned why are you guys going for such a low density on such a wonderful site?
And the city staff was floored. They were speechless. They were like, I would like to answer that question.
Uncomfortable laugh. But we only have a few minutes left for the meeting. So we're going to have to wrap this up right now. Okay. Thanks everybody for coming out today. Next show's tomorrow at 7 p.m.
Yeah. So anytime, let's explain that process. So anytime there's an application that gets put in, there's a, what are they called again? Community
meetings.
Community meeting.
Like
okay.
It's like simple. A little, yeah.
So it's an opportunity for the community to come in before any real decisions are made. This is like the meeting before the meeting before the meeting, after the pre-consultation meeting, but still along the road of meetings.
This is a long road of meetings, but this is meeting number 3.
Yeah. Good. And so now it's kind of just like, hey, maybe we're missing something as planners. We better make sure that the community's got their input. And it was pretty
let's
positive.
see what they have to say. Let's see what they have to say. And
what were the
did they
negative
have to
things?
say?
What were the negative ones?
So, like, how dare you put in an application here for such a tall building? You're going to block our sun. Right? That's one. There's already enough traffic at this intersection. What do you plan to do about that when you add all of these new cars to the corner?
So shade study, traffic study. All right, next.
What else was negative? Too many studio and one bedroom apartments. We want more for the older people. We need bigger units. But we don't
older
want
people's
to
budget.
pay.
What are the older people's budget?
Affordable.
Like, they want it for 800,000, right?
I've been paying $325 a month since 1962. I'm not leaving here unless I'm in a box.
My aunt moved in. My aunt moved into
What
Kingston
kind of
Road
box?
and Eglinton.
Yes. What a great area.
So she bought the building on the south side and the new construction building on the south side.
Oh yeah, that's a nice building. Red
and I think
brick,
she's got like
beautiful.
a higher floor, maybe penthouse, lake view kind of thing.
Ooh, yeah. You could see the lake.
Don't quote me on that.
Unless you're on the wrong side of the building.
But she definitely bought it pre-construction in 2015, 16, something like that.
Oh my God, she paid $700 a foot or something.
So she got a really good deal. She had to wait, and it was like, painful for her, but eventually it worked out. She sold last summer at like a great time to sell. So got top dollar for her place as well, and is super happy living in a condo.
Did they super happy selling their place. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a beautiful condo.
In theory, somebody going and saying, okay, I'm going to go and buy into a pre-construction project, one of the larger units, right? Whatever they are, will still have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years sometimes before they actually have to move. And think about the appreciation that they can get on their property, right?
Yeah, especially.
I would say when she bought that condo, her house was worth $300,000 to $400,000 less.
That makes a difference, I imagine.
And when she actually sold it, right?
Probably close to a doubling, right?
Yeah. So she did well.
Everybody does well. Unless you're impatient, you probably come out of this with some kind of health condition that you didn't have prior, because it's a long time to wait for that like little pot of gold you get there.
Mm-hmm. Or the people who do nothing at all.
Yeah.
Right?
It's too long a process for both sides. It's really stupid how quickly the builder has to sell the units in order to get his construction financing. And for the buyer, like you have to wait so long. It's crazy. And now it's even longer because city staff is strained because of COVID. Right?
Yeah.
Not enough planners. And then the planners they have only been around for since right before COVID, maybe.
They got hired during COVID because the other guys left.
The gravy train.
We had that site at Bathurst and Shepherd where the planner quit after COVID. So it was like the guy who'd been there for like 10 years, knew everything, had a relationship with my seller. Like it was like he was the guy. And then COVID happened, which we keep saying that word, but it happened. And
more work for the editing.
Bless the algorithm. The guy just quit. And then all of a sudden there was like new people and they were like, we don't know anything about this site. Right.
Yeah. And this is what the book says.
Yeah, exactly.
See you in court.
Yeah, exactly. So I got another TRC. I got a few TRCA dealings lately as well too. And it's the exact same thing. It's just like you can ask them the same question 30 times in different ways, and they will give you the same vague answer every single time. That once we establish the greater of the 100-year high water mark or the floodplain mark, and we'll measure from there. And it's like, what? Okay, like, can you give me a straight answer? Can we build on this lot or not? Right? Is something going to happen or not?
The first time I ever had a issue with TRCA was actually on the first property I ever bought. It was at Leslie and Lawrence, and it had this big, beautiful tree in the backyard. And like, when we envisioned the new house we were going to build on this property, that tree was like the focal point of the backyard. And we were going to like wrap a nice bench around it and, have it growing out of this thing. And it was so beautiful. And the city wanted us to rip it down because it was too close to the house we were going to build. We're like, what do you mean rip it down? Like, we can save the tree and build the house. Like, here's how. No, sorry, you have to rip it down. We're like, we had to fight with them. And then they don't respond. And they just come up with like weird. So now I know this sounds like completely backwards to what you would hear right now. The rules changed like the next year. You couldn't rip anything down if you paid $1 billion. Okay, but this is literally the year before. I had to wait in front of their office from like 4 a.m. until somebody would show up just to speak to the damn guy who was like dodging my calls, wouldn't return emails, and like wouldn't give like his report. It was crazyville. This is what people have to deal with to get applications through. Because if you don't get anywhere. It's like people must be bribing people all over the place. I don't know how somebody gets like one of these zoning orders.
MZO?
Yeah. How the hell do you get one of these MZOs? Okay. And next thing you know, you got 1 billion square feet of density in the swampland.
Yeah.
And like,
you some nice political contributions.
You must have, right? Yeah. Somebody's a partner on the deal or something, because you follow all the guidelines in a major metropolitan area within 500 meters of future LRT, 2 future LRT stations, and it's like you're gonna increase traffic, and like, who's gonna take care of my cats?
Yeah. So there's a lot of guys on social media who are doing like follow the member of Congress's stock trades and just bet on whatever they're betting on, right?
Amazing. We should follow where they live. We should follow their houses. We should know where they live and how much they paid. Not
personally. You should know what, like, everything should be disclosed, like under some sort of securities laws, where it's like, if you're a politician, you have to disclose every single investment that you're a part of. Right. So then that way it's like, okay, someone so-and-so is part of a group who just bought some land at Warden and 19th or whatever. Let's go and, follow them. Let's see what they're doing.
Let's see if they get an MZO.
Right. You got to be close. You got to be right next to them, because that becomes the issue, right? You got to be on the way to them or right next to them, so you can snap some of their services off them. Right. Telling you, a lot of people are buying land. There's a ton of deals. I've been looking at a lot of deals that are in that. Remember that deal that I sent you where you said the returns and all that kind of stuff that I was showing you were crazy
gigantic
high. In that area. So what did they refer to it? They didn't call it the yellow belt. They didn't call it the green belt. They didn't call it the
brown belt.
They didn't call it a brown belt. They called it something else. And it was, what it meant was
agricultural, probably. It's all farmland up there.
It was farmland, but not green belt. And it was in the plan.
What the fuck is left?
It was in the plan to transfer that eventually to residential. So anyways, okay, it'll come to me.
Every major developer
white belt. It's called the white belt.
What the hell's the white belt?
It's the white belt. Okay.
Where it snows a lot? Does it
in that report,
more?
they called it the white belt.
The white belt?
Yeah.
What's the white belt mean?
The white belt means that it's not green. So it's not going to be like an issue with constructing there eventually because of like naturists, whatever, like environmentally protected stuff.
All of my friends, they own these properties right here. Okay. We're going to call it the white belt, and there's going to be no rules.
We're We're gonna build a lot of houses here.
Huge.
And these guys are the biggest guys around, right? Like, you know, you had Fieldgate Homes involved, and you got a bunch of guys who are all, and you looked at all the biggest players are all in this white belt zone. Anyways, I'm also looking at like deals that are being sold up in that area, but further north. So in like East Gwillimbury, all that kind of stuff. And there's big major deals, 20 million, 30 million. There's some big deals that are happening there. And you know that they're being bought as land banks. And they're just thinking, hey, you know what? In the next 30 to 40 years, this is going to be built. So
look, Reserve Properties just paid like 300 million bucks or something for 8 Elm Street, Elm and Young from Pemberton.
Yeah. Amazing.
Crazy.
Yeah. That's the most expensive real estate, I think, in Toronto, is that like Young and Bloor and South, like to College. Right.
It's not a cheap zone for sure.
Yeah.
But they didn't. I mean, I would have thought that it would have been worth more, especially considering they had zoning approval, but whatever.
What was on the site though?
Nothing, like some retail right now.
Yeah. Well,
big money though. Big money.
See what happens. There was a big deal too. Did you see that big deal in Montreal? 5.7 billion.
No, don't care about Montreal.
You don't care about Montreal, eh?
5.7 billion. Real estate show. Montreal is happening.
Yeah. So 5.7 billion, right? It was just you know,
that's
company
it.
Came in and bought all the assets from a big REIT and said,
apartments.
Thank you very much. Everything. They got everything. They got industrial, they got retail, they own the train station, they own the whole thing. 5.7 billion. Right? It's like that. And these are big deals. It was like that deal I was telling you about in London, right? Where you've got Minto selling 1,500 doors to Elad and First Firm Capital.
How much was that?
I don't know, but 1,500 doors, right? So there's a lot of things going on, a lot of repositioning where guys are just taking money and figuring out how to, you know, access properties. Like where can we get it? Where can this money go? And they're paying top dollar. Like everyone's paying top dollar. Nobody's getting deals right now.
Didn't sell the whole thing, did they? They probably sold like 50%. Minto sells stuff. Why would Minto sell anything?
Maybe they got big plans. Maybe they got stuff going on.
Bigger than they are. That's pretty big.
That's the other thing that I noticed a lot happening too is percentage shares like sold.
Well, sure. At these kind of valuations right now, like in Hamilton, you're 250, 300 a door, and you paid like 8,000 a door. Like maybe it's time to take a little bit off the table.
Yeah.
And buy something else, right?
Yeah, which is a big statement, I guess, right? That people are making, right? They're saying, we don't think that this is going to collapse. We know it's going to continue to go up, but we've done everything we can. So we still want to be invested. We don't want to sell. We just want to free up some capital and be able to take it somewhere else because we've got other plans because we see other areas of growth and we're going to start putting money there.
Yeah, like NFTs and virtual land.
There's some land in Decentraland that I'm going to grab up.
Right? Land in Decentraland I want to buy and I want to make a store.
I'm telling you, all those, you know, heavy players are doing the same thing. They're doing the same thing. If you've got a fund, you've got some crypto assets in there. You've got some digital assets in there for sure.
Or you're thinking about it.
About it. You got people pushing you to do it.
There's definitely more interest than there was a few months ago.
Yeah.
It's all happening, baby. It is all happening. It's all getting crazy. You want to talk about Toronto real estate? Are we talking about Toronto real estate?
Is this show called the Toronto Real Estate Show still?
It is for now.
I think it's always going to be called the Toronto Real Estate Show. I mean,
I'm just getting bored of Toronto real estate.
Well, what do we got going on in Toronto?
A lot.
It's the holidays.
We do have a lot, though.
Things are happening. Let me tell you, there's a lot of buyers still eager, but there are buyers starting to pack up their bags. Yeah, this is the one I sent you.
Yes. Yeah. We'll be paying a lot more for food next year.
Are you okay with this?
I think so. I mean,
what changes are you going to be making knowing that you're paying more for food?
Gotta make more money, baby. Gotta make more
Ah,
money.
nice answer. Hey,
That's the answer if you want
how
to
do you
live
bring
in
home the
this
bacon
city.
unless the bacon's, at least $2.99 a pound?
You have to make more cheddar if you
Yep.
want to bring home more bacon.
Yep.
It's
So
just true. Or you have to give up on other shit. Good luck.
who does this
Cancel.
really impact though? For like the cost of this, I think it was something like $1,200 a year or something like that. Who does this really impact? Does it impact homeowners?
Well, I mean, listen, you're only making that money in your house if you're willing to take it out. If you're not willing to take it out, the market ramping up the last few years doesn't really help you if your job sucks
But
or if you're
generally
not
speaking,
making
though,
enough money.
are people who own homes, above the poverty line, like, substantially.
I would think for the
You'd
most
think
part.
so, right? Right?
You
You'd
would
think so.
think, but
If they own a home, like for the most part, unless it's like, an inherited or family home or something like that. But for the most part, for them to absorb 6, 7, 8% higher food costs, it's probably not going to bankrupt them.
see, that's a very, very privileged way of looking at things. Because for some people, it will obliterate them.
But are
Obliterate.
those people homeowners?
No,
This
probably
is the Toronto
not.
real estate show. How does this affect the real estate market? The food prices.
It's not going to. Listen, people have to pay more for their shelter and they have to pay more for their food. So what's it going to affect? It's going to affect the restaurants a little more, which are already fucked, and
Restaurants
right?
are raising prices.
For sure they are, which is going to make them even more fucked.
No.
What do you mean?
The experience of going to a restaurant is something that is
Are we back here again? All right.
valued. Yeah.
It's valued for a
You
lot
go
of
there
people.
because you
If you
go
can
there because it's the only
afford
option
it.
for food.
No, but listen, a lot of people will back off of how much they go out to restaurants because the food that they need at home is going to go up like enough. And first of all, 6, 7%, my balls, there's no way it's that low. Have you seen like meat? Have you seen milk? Have you seen eggs? Have you seen like stuff people actually want to buy versus last year and the year before? It's insane. It's 20,
Beef is the biggest one.
30%. Beef
Yeah.
is insane. All the
Beef
meats
is
are
insane.
insane.
Yeah.
It's all crazyville. But I mean, most people, their cost of living didn't go up on their house. The value of it went up. Their mortgage didn't change. They locked in for 10 years or 5 years, however long ago. Nothing really changed. Their lease is their lease, their rent or their mortgage.
If they just bought, they were stress tests. So they're paying a monthly payment that they can afford by a lot, right? They didn't stretch out to their max budget. They weren't allowed to.
In a market this crazy, if and when they raise rates, I mean, they're not going to raise it 1%. They're going to raise it 1/4 point, and it'll slow a few people down. It won't make a difference, but it'll slow a few people down. And then maybe a few months later, when they do another 1/4 point, people will start going, okay, hold on. Maybe we should put the brakes on for a little, see what happens. We'll have a little stall, and then we'll pent up demand to the moon again. That's what just always kind of happens. That's like the pattern. But they're not raising rates. That's cool. We get to ride this train a little longer.
I don't know. RBC says it could go up 11 times.
Sure.
Yeah.
But they said it will go up. Well, they're saying 11 times the current rate.
Yes.
What's 11 times the current rate?
At 1/4% increases is 11 changes of 1/4 points, right?
Yeah. So what is that? What does that get us to? 2 1/4?
2 3/4 or something like that. Yeah.
That's lower than my first mortgage.
Yeah.
Still.
So that's just their theory, right? So is that going to be something that's going to impact people or not, right?
It will impact people great amounts, but
Why?
not everybody. There'll be a nice section of the market that doesn't have to renew. Most of the market won't have to renew, right? And then the people that are buying new, I mean, that is just going to be like the line item. And it's not like all this inventory is going to come flooding on the market where they can just sit back and go like, okay, I'm going to wait. The prices are going to tank now because of this 1/2 point increase. They don't give a fuck. They want their money or they're not selling. Where are they going? They don't even know what they're doing next. They just want that same money the neighbor got because it's a ton of money. I think
It is a ton of money.
it's a ton of money, no matter where the hell you owned a house. If you bought it 3 years ago, you made a fortune.
Yeah. Tax free.
Right. So if you think the world's coming apart and you better sell, like it's a great time to sell. And if you think you better get in the market because it's never going down, it's a great time to buy. And if you need a damn house because you just moved here, it's a great time to buy or rent. And if you're an investor, it's a great time to buy and it's a great time to rent. It seems like this thing should.
What are you, a real estate agent or something?
No, I'm a realist.
Hey. Oh.
No, if I was a real estate agent, I'd be one of the 1% because that doesn't seem tough to attain.
The top 1%.
Top 1%.
Absolutely.
It's a small.
I was reading a stat actually about that. I think it was in the States, something like that. I think it was in the States. There's definitely a huge chunk of people just not doing the volume that they hope that they would do. And I don't think it's because they're trying.
1% of the agents in Ontario have a listing right now. If everybody gets only one.
I don't know if it's that low, but it's
there's 6,000 active listings. There's 62,000 active 10%, agents.
But many people have multiple listings, right?
Is that 10%? Fine. Yeah. 10%. So 10% have one listing. And we all know that's not true. Frank Leo has 18 listings.
Probably 40 or 50.
Do that math. There's one Frank Leo in every city, and then there's another one who might be better, and one right under him in all the major cities. So who's selling all the real estate? 4 guys.
4 guys.
4 guys have the listings out of 62,000.
Yeah.
What good is having your real estate license if you're not on the Frank Leo team?
I think there's lots of good agents out there who are doing stuff and selling things. Even top agents right now don't have listings because they've sold them. You know, they've priced them properly. They've sold them. They've dealing with buyers. They've moved the product, right? They've moved the product.
But they're dealing with buyers. They probably have big overseas buyers, no? Maybe. They're in that I think that's top a pipe percentile. Pipe dream?
Yeah, overseas buyers.
Like who the hell's buying houses anymore? $15 million house. Some guy here bought Bitcoin. Boom. I want to live near Drake.
Yep. They're selling them. Like they're selling them. Barry Cohen, right? Who's like the luxury guy in the Bridal Path, right? You know.
Yeah, he's number one.
He's definitely got some big deals that he works on, man. Like if you see some of the listings that he sells, it's just like insane. $20 million houses.
But who the hell's buying the house? Who's
$5 million is like the minimum that he does.
$5 million.
It's like
I've seen
that's
him.
That's a small property to sell.
He's been branching out because he took on like more small time agents. I remember.
Yeah, he's got a team.
The first house I ever built, I called Barry for a consultation to see what he thought the house was worth.
Yeah.
And he rolled up in his Porsche with like no socks, and he was looking like so Miami Vice, pimp. And like he just did not have time for my listing, you know?
Yeah.
I didn't want to give it to him because he felt like he was so rich already that he wasn't going to be hungry. But wow, am I wrong? That guy's a hungry guy. That guy doesn't stop.
Yeah. Yeah. He must be filthy rich.
It takes a lot to be trusted with a $15 million house transaction.
Yeah. Especially because you don't see like him marketing anywhere. Like there really is no major presence that he has other than he has the listings. So it means that like all his work is sweat equity that he put in years ago and that he's worked hard to get where he is today. 100%. There's no doubt about it. But it's not like his advertising budget's millions of dollars. So he's making millions. He's making millions
brand over the years. He advertised a lot.
Sure. Not only in one area, only up and down Bayview.
Yeah. Stupid guy there. Cheap. That was dumb. Yeah. And now
he's smart. Like I said, he did a great job. He's
got a unit on the corner now. Big Barry Cohen sign all the time. All day, all night.
York Mills. Yeah.
Smart guy. His brother is a realtor up north too. His brother picked Thornhill, Randy Cohen.
Smart guy.
Yeah. Real estate family. You know, you see him on the benches with the big ear, Randy Cohen. I listen to you.
I'm listening.
My clients. Yeah. Anyways, we flew off.
Where are we?
There. What are we talking about?
Where are we?
We are talking about this. Oh, here. So we've kind of touched on this one. Am I sharing my screen? I don't think I am.
You're just sharing your thoughts today.
Yeah. Canadian startup promises home ownership for just $15K. But some experts see red flags. We talked about this, didn't we? Key?
I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think we talked specifically about this company. And
I'm sure we did. Okay.
It's basically just rent to own.
Well, so here, I'm going to give you a leading indicator that should or should not drive your opinion on this company.
Okay.
It was founded by the former Bank of Canada Governor Stephen Poloz.
Advised by, not founded.
Which is advised. He is
they
one of the
literally had
owners.
lunch with him once.
No, he's part of this thing. He pushes it like crazy. He is definitely a partner in this.
Yeah. Full disclosure, I'm getting paid half of 1% for every deal that's done.
He's getting cheap money from his old buddies for sure to fund this craziness.
Everybody wants a piece of the real estate market. Yeah.
Okay, so here I am. I got 15 grand. That's all I got. I'm not buying a house. Am I buying a house anywhere? No.
Not in Toronto.
Am I buying a house anywhere with 15 grand?
Yeah.
Where?
For 300 grand, you could buy a house in, north.
What's 15 grand to 300? That's not enough.
There's a few places. There's even a few places in like out east, like Kingston and like in those areas, but they're more rural. Like you got to go far north of the 401.
Fine. Well, you can't work with this company anyways, because I don't think they own crap out there.
They're not gonna fund that.
No, right. that's not getting a loan. So I got 15 grand. I can either, and how long did it take me to save up this damn 15 grand?
2 years, man. 2 years. I'm making $14 an hour. How am I supposed to get more than 15 grand in 2 years?
I didn't even go on a vacation.
My grandma gave me $500 for my Christmas present. I saved it every year. I got $15,000.
I got to take home my free lunch from work every day for dinner for the kids.
Yeah, no more avocado toast.
This is crazy.
That's over.
So okay, 2 years gone. I got 15 grand. So I can't buy nothing. So 15 grand, 2 more years, 30 grand. What am I getting then? The market just went up 20% a year. So now my 30 grand, it gets me
even further away.
Like nothing.
I went from having
Belleville
1% down to no percent down.
I was planning on living like a king in Belleville in a 350 square foot condo. But now even that's out of reach. Yeah. I'm looking for stuff starting in the mid 100s and it's not finding me. So here we go. So what could I have done? I could have put this 15 grand here. I could have owned 15% and I could have owned 15% of the upside too, I think, of this condo.
2.5%.
2.5%. The deal gets sweeter for someone. I'm not saying who. And
2.5% down, you own 2.5% equity.
Now my money
is
market rent for me.
And you're paying market rent. And
every month,
you're betting on the market going up.
Every month, $50 goes towards my equity in this home. $50 a month.
Equity.
My equity. Hey, now let's keep in mind, please. Let's keep in mind that for my benefit and safety, I am not on title.
Yes.
Not on title. This way, if I default, I can walk away and they can keep my 15 grand and my TK. Okay, let's do the math. 50 grand a month. Okay. At the end of the year, that's like
$600.
Like $6 billion. Oh, $600 a year I'm putting towards the equity on this thing. So after year one, I got 15.6 in this thing.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Because I was paying market rent. Right?
So let's do it.
It's rent to own. It's rent to own. The biggest issue.
Hold on. Let's work the whole thing out. 2.5%. So let's say this thing goes up like 30% year over year, like the market does all the time.
Okay. It goes up $100,000.
$100,000 of which I get what, 2.5%? So I get like $2 billion when I sell this thing in 2 years?
So
No?
like the 2.5% is the purchase price. I wonder how they leverage that. And I wonder if it's a percentage of the down payment, right? Because that's the other factor too, right?
Somebody must
Like,
have to come up with the other part of the down payment, no?
yeah, of course. So if they're putting 20% down, then you're like,
I mean,
1/8. You own 1/8. So maybe you
unless they
own
were the
1/8 of,
former bank president of the world.
well, let's just say you own 1/8 of that extra $100,000, right? So I don't know what that is, 14,000, something like that, right? So now you've gone from, you have 15 grand 2 years later. Now you have an extra 14. So you got 29. And they're like, okay, Mr. Buyer, go ahead and finance this property. That's now worth $1 gazillion. And you still don't have 5% down. How are you going to close it in 2 years? How are you going to get the financing? Because you've been paying market rent. You're not saving money anymore. So you've got no extra money. You got no extra savings. Your job hasn't changed.
No, but you have the option. You have the option.
But how do you qualify for the mortgage at that point? You've only got 29 grand now and the condo's gone up an extra 100 grand.
Qualify for the mortgage. You've been paying the payments for 2 years. You have a great track record with the bank now. We're just going to slide the payments over to your name now, and we'll see what happens. We'll hold a second.
Yeah. Jim said you're a straight up guy. You've been making your payments on time every month.
We're going to hold a second just in case, to protect our equity in the project.
I'd like to see the presentation on this, right?
They won't show anybody. That's the best. You got that John Pasalis guy, John Pasalis?
Yeah. He's good.
He's like a social justice warrior for this thing. I want to see the contract. They won't show me the contract. Yeah. There's something wrong if they won't just freely send you the contract.
Yeah.
If they're worried about eyes dissecting this contract in the media.
Yeah.
That is not good.
Like, we'll only send it to you after you've sent us the money deposit.
The NDA.
To work on this, and
the
an
NDA that says you will not show this agreement to anybody ever.
Yeah. Including
even
John
after,
Pasalis.
Including your lawyer, John Pasalis now.
Yeah.
And anybody else that speaks in a defamatory, is that a word?
Sure.
Did I say it right?
Yeah.
Well, so
I think
you know what I mean.
Let's give a thumbs up or thumbs down to Key on 3.
1, 2, 3. Down to Key. Now, if you knew that they were IPO, what about an IPO in Key? Would you take shares? Would you buy shares in Key?
Absolutely. I'd buy shares in almost anything.
Yeah. So let's make a coin for Key.
Yeah. What's the solution? Okay. I got 2.5% down. I don't have enough money. I got 15 grand. That's all I got. I can't get any more, Darryl.
Okay.
What do I do? Do I just
have
rent?
The answer.
What do I do? What is it?
Yeah, you rent or you fucking moved somewhere where that works. That's it. Those are your choices.
Yeah. Or you find a rich spouse and hook up with them and add your incomes together.
But that falls under one or the other. Look, that's more money. Either bring in more one way or another. And there's so many ways these days. So many ways. Think outside the box. Don't think your only choice is working at the Amazon warehouse or at some grocery store in a mask all fucking day. Yeah. Like you can join, you could be like number 62,001 member of the TREB board, okay, and become a realtor. That's the easiest way to make money in the world. Number one, right?
All realtors make money.
All realtors make a ton of money. So
I have a better way. I have a better idea, and it's next week's guest.
Who's next week's guest?
We got the investor couple.
Oh, are they the answer?
So you take a course on how to buy real estate with other people's money.
Yeah, you should take a course.
And you use knowledge.
You know what people do with courses? Yeah, you need to use the knowledge.
I can't get more money, Darryl. I'm fixed in my life. I can't get more money, whether it's income or down payment.
What can you get? What can you get? What can you do?
I can get more knowledge about how to buy real estate.
About how to buy real estate with other people's money. That's the answer. More knowledge. Another YouTube video, perhaps.
Sure.
People have to do it, TK.
You got to do something.
No, but
you got to do something. Knowledge.
is rooms.
Watch the
of people
Toronto
that
Real Estate Show every week. Listen to the podcasts. Our guests will inform you on how to buy. Don't give your money to Key.
don't just listen. Go do something.
You're
Find
locking
a
yourself
deal.
into a contract you won't get out of. The
Find
end
a
will be
deal.
you paying rent for 2 years with no down payment and your deposit lost because you can't close on that condo anymore. That's
Do
what's
you
gonna happen.
need money to tie up a deal, TK?
Do you need money to tie up a deal?
Yeah. Do you need money to tie up a deal? Can you tie up a
Technically,
deal
yes,
with no
but
money?
it's negotiable. I mean, if you got 15,000, right? Then you got money to tie up a deal.
15,000 would tie up a great deal.
Yeah.
But you could do it.
Put
Couldn't
down
you do
10
it?
grand. You got money for inspection. You find the best deal in all
You
of
couldn't do it
the
with
GTA.
no money, like even for a few days, maybe with $0.
Yeah, absolutely. You could do it. You could even tie it up until you get the deposit.
Okay. So we don't need
Right?
money to buy a deal.
You don't need money to buy a deal. If you got the deal and you got the knowledge and you got the people to be able to bring it to.
How do you find a deal without money? Is a realtor
That's
going to
next
help
week.
you find a deal without money?
That's next week.
Who's next week?
Next week's our guests.
They're going to tell us the answer.
They're
to
going to
these
tell
questions?
us how to buy properties without any money.
Wow.
Yeah. This is a good like lead up to this. This is great.
Wow.
Yeah. So don't give your money to Key. Listen to our show next week and you'll hear how to buy real estate without any money.
What about with very little? So 15,000, like with Addy or Proppy.
So here's another solution, but really you're just now trading securities. So do you want to invest in a company that's investing in real estate? Do you want to put your money into REIT? Do you want to go into the stock market? Do you want to invest in a local business? Like there's a lot of other options that you've got to put that money into.
So hold on. We were talking about your options of what you could do. And so were you satisfied with my answer to make more money or move or rent?
That's one answer. Absolutely.
Well, what other answer is there?
That's a mainstream answer.
That's a mainstream answer?
You're Captain
Make more
Creative,
money or get the fuck out?
You're
What?
Captain Creative. You know that is just, that's what the average guy would say is the answer. And it's the only answer that you've got.
Hard hitting, truth telling. Really? Right? Okay. So you tell me then, what's another answer?
I just told you. Watch the podcast next week and you can
buying properties with no money.
Buy properties with other people's money, or you can invest it into something that, can be traded, like, securities, stocks, different things like that.
Like absolutely. If you need money now, buying property with somebody else's money isn't the quickest way to, get money now. You can do it, but like, what are you going to get?
Yeah, but you're buying real estate. You're buying property. You can be your own tenant. So, okay, you go and find a multiplex. Let's just answer the question quickly. You find a multiplex where you bring on an investor, right?
Yeah.
Who's either JVing it with you or loaning you the money. There's a billion different structures. You've done it
like never.
You're going to be a tenant in that building. So now you've got some ownership and you're the one that's paying the rent and you're managing it. And now you're in the building. You got your own piece of real estate.
Boom.
Yeah. Was that a good answer?
Yes. If you have enough funds to survive, that's a good answer.
No, you've got income. You've got the ability.
Most people with the aspirations of buying real estate without their own money, they're not well funded currently, and they probably won't be anytime soon.
Yes.
So to own a piece of real estate that may give them, well, I guess if you live rent free, that's one thing as part of that.
Or you rent somewhere else. You live somewhere and you rent somewhere else. The couple that's going to come on next week, Darryl, is going to explain to you how many people that they've helped with no income or very little income. I shouldn't say no income, very little income, not enough to buy real estate or not enough to buy investment properties. And they are out there buying properties right now with other people's money. Tons of them.
I'll bet. I've been to those seminars. They are a hoot, man.
Yeah.
And if you apply some of the knowledge there, then you can make some deals for sure. No doubt 100%. About it.
Yeah.
My point is that somebody who can even go out and find a partner who's willing to put up the money.
Yeah.
The amount of money that you will take home anytime soon is a pittance, even if you buy
100%.
a multiplex.
Hold on. I'm going to go and buy a house in Thornhill, okay, for $1 million, right? Because I was able to buy it. I had the down payment, I had the income, I had to qualify. How much money am I taking home anytime soon?
You're going to rent it?
Nothing. No, I'm moving in.
That's a whole other story.
But I'm not taking home any money. I'm owning the asset, which is the only thing that I care about. And in 20 years is maybe when I'll actually benefit from it. Or if I'm going to refinance over the next few years, whatever.
Yeah, it's not an asset.
I'm just
it's a
saying.
Liability.
Okay, Robert.
Yes.
I'm just letting you know.
But it's the truth.
I agree. I'm not saying I disagree. I'm just saying I'm
Look
just
at
letting you know.
Just one jab after the other today. It's a good thing I got my strong chin on.
Sorry, but I'm just telling you that I'm trying to make a point here, and I just feel like you're not agreeing with me. I want you to agree with me.
Okay, so hold on. Okay,
ready?
Let me get out of the corner for a sec. Let's meet back in the middle.
If someone doesn't have money to buy real estate on their own, there are options out there for them, but it requires them to do the work and get the information they need in order for them to make that happen, and not take the easy, sleazy way like Key.
I can't disagree with you with that.
I didn't say it.
but I don't, listen. It's a lot of work to make $150 a month to go find a partner and buy a house and make that whole deal work and manage a property for $150 a month when you have no money. So you need to either have enough money to survive through that accumulation of wealth with other people's money that way.
Yes, of course.
Or be
you save that $15,000. You've got a job. It's not enough to qualify somewhere else.
Yeah. So now you have a job and the real estate business, which people think is like nothing. Hey, I'll buy properties on the side with other people's money.
Yeah. And don't be the naysayer, Darryl.
Well, I'm the naysayer.
You're being a naysayer.
I'm sure there's a lot of people that will pay for courses that teach you how to do this.
Okay.
But there's not too many people that can actually pull it off and make a living out of this. And like it takes years, no? Years to build up a portfolio you could live off of.
So if I've told you that I've witnessed, I don't know, 50 to 100 people do it in the last year. No problem.
In the last year, they made enough money that they could leave their job.
No, not leave their job. No.
You're not listening to me, TK.
I'm saying balance a regular job and their real estate business on the side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they bought like a unit somewhere.
They've got multiple units, multiple in inter-province, extra-province, intra-province, whatever, inside and outside Ontario, right?
Get them on the show. Let's talk.
I
want to hear how this worked.
Yeah.
You said you have like 20 or 50 people.
Well, we're bringing the main people next week.
I want answers, TK.
We're bringing the main people next week, and then I'll link you to their social media, and you can hear all the stories.
What am I doing wrong, TK? That's what I want to know.
What do you mean? You're like the master of OPM.
OPM.
Yeah.
Oh, I am pretty good at it.
You're like the master at it. You're your own guru. You went to those seminars.
I don't listen to myself. I actually, I guess I learned a couple of things along the way.
Yeah.
It's true.
You did. Yeah. I thought you'd be more excited for these guys next week.
I'm excited for these guys if they're not like those guys. You know, if they're not just like selling their program.
Okay.
This is not rocket science. This is not a secret. There's books out there. There's stuff online. There's free YouTube videos, right?
But if you could sell the program to do it, wouldn't you?
Do you not think I could?
You don't think right now if YouTube we're arguing a lot today, Darryl. If YouTube came to us and said, guys, we want to pay you for every episode that you do, but all I need you to do is every once in a while, just talk about Vancouver, okay? Just talk about Vancouver. You don't know anything about Vancouver, but just talk about Vancouver. How fast do you think we'd be talking about Vancouver?
All over it. What's this? Why are we talking about this right now? What point does that make? What?
Oh, just because we would be willing to sell any product for the right price.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But not my soul, TK.
Not our souls.
My soul's not for sale.
I'm just saying, if I were a guru and I could run a program, all real estate agents do this. All real estate agents, and Tom Story has got a video course that he advertises online. People sell courses. Yeah, it's smart.
Smart.
Yeah. If you know what you're doing and you got a niche and you're good at it, you should at least start some sort of educational program to teach other people how to do it. I think you'll generate more income or close to than what you were doing with the actual skill in the first place. Courses are
what they say.
thing.
You don't have to be a great player to be a great coach. But that's what these people need is a coach. Everybody can access the video. Somebody has to like inspire and teach and push, because most people have a lot of knowledge, right? 30 seconds at a time more currently. But everybody has a ton of knowledge, but who applies it?
Most people don't.
Most people don't.
Yeah.
So like if the info can be accessed for free, what do people bring to the table that sell these courses? That's what I want to get at next week.
I don't want to ruin I don't want to ruin the whole thing, but what they've been able to
tell me how to do
a community of people who are all motivating each other to be able to do what they need to do on a daily basis.
Oh God. Okay. It's a cult. That's a real estate cult. That's okay.
It's a real estate investment cult.
They work. They work.
They work.
They work. But you need to pay to get in.
Of course.
No invites. No invite only.
Oh, how much? Everybody's invited. What are you talking about?
Everybody's invited. You just don't
get
pay,
an
you're
invite
in. Until
you pay, you're in.
Wire transfer.
You're in. That's it. Done.
Wow.
Welcome. Welcome to the club.
Well, here. So how about this? Here's a opportunity potentially. You could learn how to code and probably change your life instantly. Definitely your tax bracket, because the world is looking for coders. The world is looking for coders. And if you're not into coding or computer stuff, oh, am I not sharing my screen again, TK? We are so technically challenged today. That's okay. Skilled trades are a viable option for everyone. Listen, especially right now, getting a skilled trade will make you a lot of money. A lot of money. If you want to be in shape, you want to be outside, you want to smoke cigarettes while you work all day, if you want to stand around and talk, maybe spin a stop sign around. A lot of porta potties involved. But hold on, TK. This old white guy is targeting all kinds of other people now. Youth, blacks, women, indigenous people, people of color, the BIPOCs. We are targeting the BIPOCs.
Oh, black. Okay, that's what it stands for. Never heard that before.
BIPOC communities.
The BIPOC communities.
I didn't make this shit up. This is a thing.
Yeah.
But it's time, BIPOCs, BIPOC youth. It is time for the BIPOC youth to join the community and make money in the construction industry.
So you can be like the guy whose face we've put on this article, who you can't relate to.
C.S. Joe, a concrete former with Carpenters Local 27. Right? I mean, obviously he's not from around here. Janelle Richards, site administrator at the Daniels Corp, who grew up in Kitchener. Sky's the limit for women considering a career in construction. You can work your way up from anywhere. Wow. It's like a land of opportunity. And you better do it soon before the robots come and take away your new great well-paying jobs. Do it soon.
I didn't send you that article, but that's good that you found that one. I did send you an automation one though, right? Where they were talking about like job vacancies, right? Like they were understaffed, right? In all these industries. And that 81% of those employers
small businesses
found automation as being the
81% TK. We're successful using automation techniques. Small businesses say they can't find staff and offering higher wages isn't helping.
Not working.
TK, you can make $25 an hour working in the drive-through right now. Now that is, imagine how much a carpenter can get right now. If you go, hey, like, you know what? I could go work at Amazon for $22 an hour.
Yeah.
Like,
you
why
gotta
am
pay
I
me what
out
I'm worth
in the fucking cold in Canada?
Yeah.
Why am I doing this? The warehouse, I can see the warehouse from the roof that I'm about to fall off of every day in the hurricane weather here in Canada.
They got air conditioning and heat over there. It's amazing.
Right? You can take a bathroom break once a day. Okay. And like, it's easy. It's easy. I know what I'm doing. It's not good. It's not good.
So I think the theory behind all this is, we've
The
got a job
robots are
shortage.
coming.
There's not enough people. They're talking a lot about, we need immigration, we need robotics, we need people who are going to be, coming in for these lower paid jobs. That's the truth. And nobody wants them. Even offering more money, nobody wants these jobs. People are leveling up. The people who are here in Canada now are saying, I want more rights, I want more freedoms, I want a better lifestyle. I understand. So as a child, you understand that life is very expensive. So you're really setting your goals very high. Think about what people used to talk about. Like when we were young, if you made $60,000, $70,000 a year, you would say like, wow, what a great career that person has. Right. Then about in the last 10 years, it's almost like if you're not making six figures, I don't know what you're doing. And I imagine the kids who are like 20, they're all thinking they're going to be millionaires by the time they're 25.
Oh, look, a majority of Toronto's Generation Z have given up on the dream of owning a single family home. 52%, TK. The majority have given up. And I don't blame them. Look, if you could buy a house or a condo right now for your kids for later, wouldn't that be a really good idea? Because your kids, by the time they're ready to buy a house, this market will have gone up 150% compounded yearly.
Maybe,
for like the last 6 years by that.
It's going to be micro unit. We're just going to stack people on top of people. You just comatose yourself in a coffin and we just stack you up and down Bay Street.
It's going to be like Ready Player One, where you just slide into your coffin, throw on your headset, intravenously fed. Why would you go anywhere other than the metaverse? The morning, we'll see you. I'll see you like when my heart fails or something, like, or until this intravenous, like
when we need to procreate and create more humans, we'll let you know when it's your turn.
Makes sense, right?
Yeah.
It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. Or look, there'll be a resurgence of crazy small towns will start to grow exponentially with GO trains. And for the one time a week or the one time a month that you need to be in at a meeting, that like popping on your goggles on your ridiculously efficient home office isn't an option for some weird reason. Like you'll take the GO train in from Belleville or London, which, did you hear about this new London track? They opened a London to Toronto, go like one point to the other. There's like less people on it than like a bus.
Yeah. That's crazy though. That's a pretty good distance, right?
I guess if you
like, that's got to be a 2-hour train ride. No?
For a student who might want to come back home for the turkey or latkes or something.
So you don't think people will commute? You don't think people will live in London and commute to Toronto for a job twice a week?
Well, it'll help link the tech sectors maybe a little bit, right?
Think about it. I would. If I, like, my wife had a job in London, my kids went to London, I get to buy a house for $500,000 that cost me 4 times that in Toronto. And all I got to do is twice a week. I work from home 3 days a week, and twice a week I just got to get up and get on like the 6 o'clock so that I can get downtown for 8 and then jump on the 6 p.m. home. So I'm home at 8 and I do that twice a week. I can manage that.
Yeah, some people can, some people won't have to. And all kinds of new businesses that have to be in person somehow will fill up the office space of the ones that want to leave. And it'll be booming. But there's going to be a ton of work from home. Like, they haven't figured out these headsets quite yet. But when they actually figure out a good way of doing it, it won't be able to be beat, to be able to have 18 monitors in front of you all simultaneously doing something that you can access and manipulate with the other people. You and I go in VR together all the time now. Like, don't you feel like we're playing together?
Doesn't feel like any different than what we're doing right now. When I saw you in person the other day, it felt no different from like how we normally communicate. I saw people at a work Christmas party who they said to me, it's the first time we're meeting. And they said, it's good to meet you in person. I was like, I thought we met like a year ago. Like,
yeah,
like this is, you know,
but it's crazy. And so as they refine the tools and more people use them, it's gonna be pretty insane. I mean, imagine well, I don't know about 100% replace, but I think for a lot of companies, it should replace, and it will allow those companies to maybe remain successful or keep prices down to punish competitors. But like, it'll be good for everybody. Imagine how much rents push up prices on end products when you have like a footprint in every major metropolitan city on the planet. If you have an office in London, Tokyo, New York, Toronto, on and on and on, imagine how much those cost to fund. You could give everybody a $400 headset.
Yeah. So today I'm going to Thornhill. I'm going to Thornhill.
Ugh.
I'll let you know how it goes. But today's show has been, you know, little combative, a little bit, you know, insightful. I think we both got some good points out today. I think it was the greatest show of all time, but you know,
Obviously.
we'll let the listeners decide on that.
Obviously, we didn't talk about those big changes to Treb that are.
We got lots of time. We got 2 shows coming up that are with guests, and then you and I will have one over the holidays that we can talk about all sorts of stuff,
where we will give you our predictions and give away the free NFT.
Hey, and if you're listening right now on YouTube, feel free to go check us out on Spotify and other podcast providers. If you're listening on Spotify, feel free to jump over to YouTube and give us a like, comment, and subscribe.
Yes. Well done, TK. Well done.